My brothers and sisters, it's called TV programming for a reason. Scripture warnings that apply to television viewing. The following scripture passages have a direct application to this issue and are a loud warning to those who have ears to hear. Parents need to teach their children these scriptural principles and guide them in learning how to apply them to their daily lives. It is not enough to have a list of do's and don'ts. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. Tehillim 101:3. This verse single-handedly forbids a child of the Most High to watch the vast majority of the movies and television programs that are made today. Consider just a few of the wicked things that you or your children will see. The breaking of Thurah, every show on TV. Flaunted boastful immorality. Constant drinking and drug usage, validated and promoted. Drunkenness and lewdness portrayed as humorous. Sexually alluring fashions. Sexually enticing dancing. Violence and mayhem. Casual dating and petting. Parents, do you want your children to date after the fashion portrayed in most movies and television programs? Mockery of the things of Yahweh. Mockery of the children of the Most High. Pagan religions depicted as absolute truth. Situational ethics. Occultism, paganism, humanism, evolution, and New Age era, even in cartoons and in a large number of Disney movies. I cut a covenant with my eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of Alua is there from above? And what inheritance of Al Shaddai from on high? Is not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Does not he see my ways and count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot has hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that Alua may know my integrity. Eob, Job 31:1-6. This verse is similar to the one in Psalms 101:3, but it warns more specifically about looking upon women to lust after them. The king says this in the Basora, but I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Matthew 5:28. These verses are solemn warnings to men and boys not to watch Hollywood movies, whether in the theater or at home. In public, most men will not stare at a woman very long because he is self-conscious about doing that. But when he is watching a movie, he can ogle an indecently clad female, even if his wife is sitting by his side. Many years ago, a preacher friend asked me this: why do you think so many pastors are committing adultery? My complex one-word reply: television. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becomes the Kodashim, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Mashiach and of Yahweh. Let no man deceive you with vain words. For because of these things comes the wrath of Yah upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. For ye were in time past darkness, but now are ye light in Yahuwah. Walk as children of light. Ephesians 5:3-8. This is an accurate description of the vast majority of Hollywood productions today. It also describes the dark magic music industry that goes hand in hand with practically all of today's movies. The child of Abba is not to participate in such things, even by proxy. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. Colossians 3:8-9. Not only is it dangerous to watch evil things, but it is equally dangerous to hear evil things. We are to be responsible stewards of the temple and guard the gates in which these things are granted or denied entry. There are occasions in this wicked world in which we do not have control over what we see and hear. But when we are in our homes, we do have control. And we do have control over where we go and what we do with our own time. Television programs and movies are literally filled with unholy, wretched, abominable speech, with the things specifically and solemnly forbidden in Colossians. The ear is a gate to the heart and determines how we live. Proverbs warns, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. The very first thing that is mentioned in that connection is to put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Movies and television programs are steeped with the things that Colossians 3:8 instruct us not to do. Yet we actually pay to have people entertain us in sin. A few years ago, Calvary Contender reported, foul language, including curses, offensive epithets, scatological language, sexually suggestive or indecent language, and censored language increased by 94.8% during the family hour between 1998 and 2002. That's the Calvary Contender, December 2003. Foul language on television has exponentially increased since 2002. And Yahuwah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Bereshit, Genesis 6:5. Because that, when they knew Yahuwah, they glorified him not as Yahuwah, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the incorruptible Yah into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore Yahuwah also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Romans 1:21-24. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yah to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah, and bring it into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. Koratim Shanaei, 2 Corinthians 10:4-5. The word of Elohim warns the believer to cast down every evil imagination, because the imagination is the battleground for the soul. Proverbs 23:7 says, For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. The imagination can go from bad to worse. The flesh is never ever satisfied. Sin, which began in such a small way in the days of Adam, had so permeated man's mind by the days of Adam's great-grandson, Noah, that man's thoughts were only evil continually. That describes multitudes in our day, which is not surprising in that Yahuwah warned. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Matthew 24:37. In the epistle of the Romaim, Shaul tells us that the imagination plays a great role in the downward spiral that results in homosexuality and other moral perversions. It is impossible to have freedom from the bondage of sin if one allows the imagination to dwell upon evil things. It is not difficult in this connection to see the danger of television programs, music, and movies, and to see the role they have played in the moral downfall of modern society. They fill the imagination with vivid images that linger and that return even if not purposefully encouraged. They feed the fleshly nature, but it is never satisfied, and it only desires more sensuality, more excitement, more exposure of flesh, more.